The Light Between Your Eyes by Thembeka Angel Gononda. Chapter 1. The Last Winter in Moscow. The biting Russian wind howled outside, rattling the ill-fitting windows of their cramped Moscow apartment. 10-year-old Iman huddled closer to the sputtering radiator, the metallic tang of rust filling his nostrils. Inside, the warmth was paltry compared to the storm brewing in the kitchen. His mother, Irina, her face a mask of strained desperation, stood facing his father, Chris. Her voice, usually a soothing balm, was now sharp, laced with a raw pain that twisted Iman's stomach. "Chris, he is your son!" Her voice cracked on the last word. A single tear traced a path down her cheek, catching the faint light from the bare bulb hanging overhead. Chris, a hulking shadow in the dim light, remained impassive. He ran a hand through his thinning hair, the gesture reeking of weary impatience. "Irina, we've been over this. I have a son, a family. This," he sighed, "this was never supposed to go this far." There was a pause. "You said you loved me. I did. I do, but not enough to lose everything." Iman stared at the cracked linoleum floor. "He doesn't want me," he thought, a cold knot tightening in his chest. "He doesn't want us." Another silence, one that said everything. Iman didn't cry. He just listened, his fingers curling into the frayed fabric of the couch beneath him. His mother stepped into the room moments later. Her eyes were red, but her voice was steady. "Go to sleep, Imanushka. We're leaving soon." She didn't explain what she meant. He didn't ask. That night, Iman lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He was 10 years old and already understood what kind of child he was. A secret, an inconvenience, something to be hidden, not claimed. "Not because I'm not good enough, but because I shouldn't exist." 2 weeks later, Irina sold the last of her jewelry and bought 2 tickets to London. She said it would be a new beginning. But London was colder than Moscow in all the wrong ways. The city was grey, damp, and unkind. They lived in a tiny apartment in a neighborhood that smelled like cigarettes and rain. Irina worked tirelessly, cleaning houses, scrubbing floors, doing whatever it took to keep them afloat. It felt less like a fresh start and more like a slow punishment. Iman struggled in school. The language barrier made him feel small, and every British accent reminded him how far from home he was. He barely spoke unless he had to. But he watched, he observed, he sought solace in content creation, he documented his life, he would look into the lives of people he aspired to be. He became obsessed with self-improvement and making money. An opportunity arrived in the form of his local football club. He noticed their social media was almost non-existent. They only made posts regarding match dates and ticket prices, but nothing engaging. One day, he offered to manage their social media page for free. They agreed, and it worked. He would take videos of the players warming up and post-match interviews, giving depth and character to the local football players. That one club turned into 3, then 5, then a variety of local businesses. He taught himself how to run ads, build websites, and convert clicks into cash. By 17, he'd made £78,000 and dropped out of school without hesitation. Every time he succeeded, he imagined his mother's face the night she begged a man to love his own son. He would become so wealthy, so powerful, the entire world would have to look him in the eye, even the ones who had turned away. "They'll remember me," he promised himself. But more importantly, they'll remember her. Chapter 2. Sunlight and Cinnamon. The camera clicked. Again and again. Iman adjusted the angle on his phone and crouched lower, catching the morning light hitting a cinnamon bun just right. The golden layers glistened beneath a thin glaze, steam still curling from the surface. Good. Authentic. People loved that now real moments, not too posed. He tapped a few more settings, angling the plate against the rustic wood of the cafe table. His fingers moved with practiced precision. This wasn't just content, it was currency. Mr. Ayoub, the cafe owner, had reached out to him last week. Business was good, but the digital world confused him. He wanted to reach the TikTok kids, whatever that meant. Iman didn't care. He knew what worked, and this place had all the ingredients: quirky interior, decent food, good lighting. All it needed was a face. He stood, took a few shots of the counter, and was about to ask one of the baristas to pose when, "You can't give people extra whipped cream just because they flirt with you, Amara." That voice. A girl's laughter answered. "Oh, come on. You think he was flirting? He just blinked a little slower than normal. I call that exhaustion, not seduction." Another laugh, this time from a customer. Iman turned, and that was when he saw her. She was behind the counter, apron tied around her waist, sleeves pushed up to her elbows, her ponytail bouncing as she moved. She was rinsing mugs with one hand, spinning a sugar jar with the other, joking with an older woman like they were longtime friends. Something about her energy was loud, but not in a brash way. Alive, like she belonged in a much bigger room than this one. Iman found himself lowering his phone, just for a second, just to watch. Has moving the sum of the interviews. She tilted her head as she laughed, the edge of her dimple just barely visible. Her skin glowed in the soft window light, warm and golden. A streak of flour dusted her wrist. Use her. The thought came from nowhere, but it was instant, clear. She had a presence. Not the kind you buy with makeup and good lighting, the kind that makes strangers smile without knowing why. She turned to him. "Oh, sorry," she said. "Do you need to take a photo of this side? I can move out of the way." He blinked. "No, you're fine," he said, too fast. She arched a brow, amused. "You sure? I charge modeling fees, you know. Pastries don't sell themselves." Iman didn't smile often, not sincerely, but she got one. "What's your name?" he asked. "Amara," she said, brushing a loose strand of hair from her cheek. "Part-time coffee girl, occasional drama queen, full-time daydreamer." He paused. The way she said it was light-hearted, but something in her tone, the practiced deflection, caught him off guard. She wasn't all sunshine. "I'm Iman," he said. "Marketing." "Marketing?" She looked him up and down. "That's what they're calling brooding guys with expensive sneakers these days?" He huffed. "Brooding?" She smirked. "Brooding, mysterious, intense, you know the type." He had no idea what to say to that, which annoyed him. "Let me guess," she continued, mock serious. "You do all the ads for scary alpha male gyms and crypto courses." He deadpanned. "I run the Instagram for this bakery." She laughed. "Same thing." And just like that, something shifted. Not a crash, not lightning. Just a click, like two puzzle pieces finding their edge. She turned back to the customer, leaving Iman standing there with his phone in hand, heart beating slightly faster than before. "Amara," he repeated internally. Yeah, that was definitely her name. They met again 20 minutes later, unintentionally by the back door, where employees took their breaks. Iman was crouched by a crate of flour bags, typing something into his notes app about a carousel post idea. The door creaked open, and she stepped outside with a half-empty glass of iced tea and a pack of chocolate-dipped biscuits in her hand. "Hey, Instagram guy," she said casually. "You always crouch like a gargoyle when you take pictures?" He looked up from his phone, startled. "Huh?" She grinned. "That pose back there, real elegant. You looked like you were about to cast a spell on that cinnamon roll." He tried to laugh, but it came out too soft, almost like a choke. She was really pretty, up close even more so, sharp cheekbones, that Romanian glow, Her eyes were deep brown, lashes curling up like they didn't even need help. It's about angles, he muttered, pushing his phone into his jacket pocket. She said, pretending to nod seriously. A true artist. He glanced at her, then quickly looked away. His cheeks were burning. Why was she talking to him? And more importantly, why did it feel so good? She took a bite of her biscuit, legs swinging lightly beneath her. So, Mr. Marketing, what's the plan? Post a few croissant pics and watch the followers roll in? He smiled. This he could talk about. Actually, no. I mean, yeah, the food matters, but cafes aren't just about coffee. They're about people, the vibe, the energy. His voice picked up slightly as he went on. When someone scrolls past a picture, they have to feel like they're missing out by not being there. It has to pull them in. Ooh, she said with a mock gasp. You are serious about this? I am, he said. I want to turn this place into a brand, a story. And well, he paused. She raised a brow. And? He ran a hand through his hair, a touch of self-consciousness creeping in. I was thinking, you could be part of that. The content. Me? You're good with people. I noticed. You laugh. You're good with people. I noticed. You laugh. You make them laugh. It's easy for you. He swallowed. I think you've got charisma, a natural vibe that's impossible to fake. Amara laughs, a genuine throaty sound. Charisma? That's a new one? Usually it's just loud or obnoxious. But I'll take charisma. What did you have in mind? Me posing with a pile of croissants? More than that, people connect with stories, not just products. I want to capture the energy here. The way you interact with customers, the banter with your co-workers. That's the stuff that resonates. Amara sips her coffee, her eyes studying him. So, let's say I agree to be your vibe ambassador or whatever, she teased. What's in it for me? He thought for a second. Free pastries? She tilted her head. He blurted out. And I could help with your socials too, if you're interested. She blinked. Wait, really? Yeah, like if you're into fashion or whatever. I could help you grow your page. Even build you a portfolio if you want to get into branding or influencer stuff later. Her smile faltered, just a bit, but not in a bad way. It softened. That's actually really kind. Thanks. No problem, he said, fiddling with the strap of his camera bag, suddenly not sure where to look. She studied him for a moment, then said, Are you always this awkward? He blinked. What? I'm joking, she laughed. Sort of. He grinned, sheepish. Hey, at least it's not boring. She raised a brow. Yeah, that's true. That made something light up in him. A little flicker, a little hope. She stood up, dusted biscuit crumbs from her lap, and offered him her iced tea. Here, finish it. You're blushing like it's 90 degrees. He hesitated. Then he took it. She turned to go. See you tomorrow, Mr. Marketing. As the door closed behind her, he stared at the cup in his hands. She knew his name. She gave him her drink. She laughed at his jokes, well, kind of. And somehow, all of that made him feel like he was floating 2 inches above the ground.